Right, back for another game with Temur Tower against the oddly named Disgustipated. And if you are disgustipated, I recommend seeing a doctor. This is a weird one. I don't keep many one-line hands when I'm not playing Merfolk, but an untapped source, a Tomb of Aether, a Tomb of Aether with like Aether Thieves and Horribly Rye feels like it could work on the draw. Concealed Courtyard, so most likely going to be Mardu vehicles. So let's use this to pick up a red source pretty quickly. So Shield Aether could come in handy here. So probably not going to attune next turn, just because holding up the Horribly Rye could be quite handy, countering like a motorist or something. Walking Ballista on 1. So this is the new variant, Mardu Ballista. That's been popping up as of late. So we'll see what happens here. Like, it's always nice against Mardu when you get to dodge, like, turn 1 Frabid Inspector, or turn 1 Exemplar. You just feel like you're much further ahead. Opponent does nothing, so they could just have all removal. Yeah, take the chance to get rid of this Ballista now before it becomes a problem. Next turn we get to attune and hold up Horribly Awry. Another Botanical Sanctum, that's nice. Here we're going to get another blue source, because we all want double blue more than we want double red or green. Let's see what our opponent comes up with. In this deck, the Ballista version goes much more heavy on Planeswalkers, which can be trickier for us after the board. So we probably want to stock up on negates in that case. Basically a deck that came out of the GP just gone on the weekend of the 24th, which basically takes a normal Mardu build. It kind of just goes a bit bigger than it normally used to, so it cuts things like Veteran Motorist and PNLR in favour of 4 Walking Ballista, and then I think playing Challenger's main board, and then the sideboard. The sideboard from the one that finished top would be interesting, because you've got 3-0 for Challenger, 3-0 for Liliana, 1 Authority to the consoles, 2 Nahiri, 2 Obnixilis, and what could be the troublesome one for us? 4 copies of Release the Gremlins. Gideon here would be pretty bad. And it is. So I mean, there's a possibility that maybe we didn't want to. We wanted to hold up Disallow there instead of a Tomb of Aethering, but we'll work with it. Play the Ether Hub here. So we're probably going to take 5, but we're going to hold up an Aether Thief and Horribly Awry. And there's one thing this deck has, is that unless you already have the tower down, Resolve Planeswalkers can be a bit tricky. I think we just got to be wary of the 4-mana Planeswalker. I mean, the advantage to playing against this Planeswalker heavy deck is that they are quite heavy in mana requirement, so we can play around it to some degree. I'm gonna not flash in the second Aether Thief because it could gain us another energy. The reasoning for that is just I don't want to use that and then have to not be able to disallow Challenger. We can draw end of turn. Opponent down to 4 cards. Unless it's surely going to play something here. Walking Ballista for 2. That I will Horribly Awry. End step. We'll flash this in and draw a card. Well, let's play out the Rogue Refiner as a Stumbling. Well, do you want to hold up disallow? That's the question. I think we just kind of sit and wait and see what anticipate brings. Again, it feels like we just want to save this, keep this disallow where possible to deal with things that are really going to be problematic. Don't want to take too much damage from Gideon, but won't lie, we're kind of lacking in options. It'll be interesting to see if they attack with a Knight ally, because we can always double block and gain 2 energy off that, if that is the route that they choose to go down. Because really we want to try and find a Divot tower, because it's really our best way of dealing with it. So go to 8. And running into some trouble now. Spire of Industry. And pass. So either they're like very land heavy, or they've just got like another Gideon in hand or something. Torrential Gearhulk's a good one. Now the danger is that they're going to have like an unlicensed disintegration to deal with this. So the question, because the thing with Torrential Gearhulk is Torrential Gearhulk can just block Gideon forever. The question is whether we really want to run into that unlicensed disintegration. And I don't have the artifacts at the moment, so I think what I'm going to do is run out Rogue Refiner as a speed bump. Get our extra card, another negate. So negate seems good in this matchup. We'll go for that, and we'll chump Gideon, because we don't want to go down to 3, because 3 is the worrying number. And there's an unlicensed disintegration on a shielded Aether Thief. They've got no artifacts, so the removal fort is coming true there. So maybe they're just trying to reduce our chump blockers so they can punch through Gideon eventually. But I'm happy to see a removal spell used on a shielded Aether Thief, because that's not really a problem for us. We'll trade off the Knight ally now. Just want to mitigate damage where possible. The other thing that might indicate is that they actually have... Draw a card here. They might have like tons of removal in hand. Well, they might have used it there. I'm not sure. So, ideally I want to save up till I can do like Torrential Gearhulk plus a negate. Which does beg the question whether you even go as far to do something as crazy as disallow this Gideon trigger in order to set that up next turn. Needle Spires, not what I particularly wanted to see there. Because if we can protect this Gearhulk, I think we're in pretty good shape. The problem is the Gearhulk can't actually flash anything decent back at the moment. Although we can disallow and Glimmer if we don't have to negate something. Because, again, we just need to find a way to deal with Gideon. And if we can protect this Gearhulk, that Gearhulk can block Gideon for a while. They would have to, like, emblem a Gideon and then play another one. But we do have negates running around, so... And Harness Lightning isn't going to kill us Torrential Gearhulk, so they've got to have... they've basically got to have Unlicensed Disintegration. If this is the, like, the Pro Tour list... the Grand Prix winning list... okay, they just created a Knight token. That's interesting. No attack. Well, I'm going to take this opportunity to Glimmer in that case. Harness Lightning I'm going to keep because it's going to come in handy. There's an Aether Hub. So... Operation Gearhulk is a go. Opponents has 3 cards in hand. I guess the feeling here is that they might just build up a board. Because here they could activate Needle Spires. In which case, if they didn't activate Needle Spires, they'll probably Torrential Gearhulk, shock their Needle Spires, and then maybe Harness Lightning. They're going for the army, so I wonder if they're going for army and emblem. Ah, Heart of Kiran. That will get negated. I'm actually close to getting Torrential Gearhulk to just take down Gideon. We could flash in the Gearhulk here, but I'm just going to harness Lightning this instead. Because again, I want to be able to protect this Gearhulk when it comes down. I don't want it to be run into unlicensed disintegration. Neither of those are particularly helpful. Dynavolt Tower is what we want to find. Incendiary Flow is not a bad one, actually. Natural Obsolescence is always good to have against the vehicles deck as well. Incendiary Flow can go direct to Gideon, so if they do decide to emblem this turn, it does give us the option of just then Incendiary Flowing afterwards, and Gideon will die. Okay, so now they're going for it. So let's see what they got to say. They could have 2 unlicensed disintegrations, which would be unfortunate. But I don't think we have the luxury of playing around that. I want to hold up Incendiary Flow and Negate. Natural Obsolescence doesn't feel like it's going to come up. So, Gearhulk. Do I want to take out the Knight Ally or draw 2? Could also shock and shock Gideon directly, because it'll make it easier for our Torrential Gearhulk to kill. Gonna Glimmer though. Gonna try and find some answers. So we get the flashback on this, so no kill for the Gearhulk yet. There's a Dynavolt. And a Horribly Ride, that's not the worst either. So now pretty much can counter whatever they play, unless they have like a massive Walking Ballista would it? No, it'd still be converted mana cost 4. So we're gonna take 2. Let's see what they're holding mana up for, because they didn't attack with Needle Spires. Oh, Archangel Avacyn. Well, that's a problem. Although Dynavolt will deal with Avacyn. They might sell a nice disintegration, so I'm not going to tap out here. Lumbering Falls. So how do we do this? Starts out with playing Dynavolt Tower for sure. Tapping a green. So we could deal 3 to Avacyn, then Incendiary Flow Avacyn, then attack Gideon, but then we can't kill Gideon with the Incendiary Flow afterwards. We could anticipate. Oh no, hang on, wait. No. Well, we could attack Gideon with Torrential Gearhulk. If Avacyn doesn't get in the way, Gideon just dies to Dynavolt. Then, if they attack, don't have much. I think we Dynavolt and kill the Avacyn, hold up a Disallow. Because then that leaves them with 2/2 with Gideon and Needle Spires. So we can't actually deal with all that, that's the downside. But we can't deal with a flipped Avacyn either. We can disallow an Avacyn trigger. So if we don't do anything, they can have 4 attackers, a Needle Spires, a Knight Ally, and a Gideon. We block Gideon, kill Needle Spires, still take 6. But then we could Dynavolt this. We could Dynavolt, if they attack with everything, we'd Dynavolt Avacyn, Incendiary Flow Avacyn, Torrential Gearhulk blocks Gideon, take 2 and then 6 again. We do have a line, it just involves... I think it involves disallowing the Avacyn trigger. And what if we attack? No, if we attack no block on Avacyn, Gideon goes down to 3. We Dynavolt down Gideon. Incendiary Flow Needle Spires, but still don't have a block for Night Ally. We could anticipate and try and find Harness Lightning. I guess the other option is they activate Gideon. We disallow the trigger. Incendiary Flow and Dynavolt, Avacyn, and block Needle Spires. I think that's the play. Probably missed an option there, but we'll see. Because I feel like if we can manage this board state, we're in decent shape. I don't know if any of the lists played Avacyn. I don't remember seeing Avacyn in any of the lists, so it caught me off guard. Even though I said we can deal with anything except Avacyn, because I'm pretty sure we couldn't disallow it. If we could, then my bad. I guess the other thing is like, what if they try and like ultimate Gideon? I think I'd still disallow it. The other thing I really don't want to see is a pre-combat artifact, because then a license disintegration's live. Alright, so I think we have to start by disallowing this trigger. Also, so dealt with that for a turn. Let's see if Needle Spires now gets activated. It does. Opponent attacks with everything. Oh, Incendiary Flow is a sorcery. Yeah, this is going to look stupid. Haven't played with Incendiary Flow that much. Whoops. Ceremonious Rejection negates coming. Oh dear. I think we're bringing one release to Gremlins. Possible they take out Order Removal through Order Virtuoso. It's possible Fatal Push will come out for them. And License Disintegration probably stays in. But basically we need to fight the big stuff. And how do we best do that? Disallow might be too slow. So the refiners don't seem amazing. It's going to get outpaced. We're trading for cheaper counter spells. So maybe the Ceremonious Rejection just feels better than Dispel. Could take out Gearhulks. It's possible because it feels like this. The key to this matchup might be just winning early. Take out. I'm not sure if this is right. And also take out the refiners for 2 virtuosos. Keep in another rogue refiner. This feels weird taking Torrential Gearhulk out in any situation. Also, Radiant Flame Spray doesn't come in actually. Or does it? Kind of hits everything in the deck. Let's try another Virtuoso and... Oh wait, I've got no Natural Obsolescences. Bring those in. 1 Gearhulk in. Do we want 3 Natural Obsolescence? This deck has 4 Heart of Kiran and 4 Walking Blisters, that's it. So maybe that we don't play all of them. Probably don't want all ceremonious rejection as well. And this is mostly still scrappy scroungers. Maybe we don't want two of these and two of that. Yeah, let's go with this. That felt a bit messy, but we'll see. This is another weird one. So we can Aether have green, Aether hub for red. No, we'd have to Aether hub for green, Aether hub for harness lightning, when the rest of the hand's pretty good against it. So, again, not on Merfolk, but keeping one land's hands. And then, yeah, we'll get the mountain afterwards. Tap Needle Spires. Oh, another green. I'm actually not going to get Harness Lightning now. Well, actually, no. I'm always going to have the mana up to cast that Glimmer of Genius. But yeah, kind of relying on Release the Gremlins to do some work here for us. Yep, there's the Scrounger. So I'm going to try and put that on bottom of the library. It's the, like, apart from Horribly Rare and Incendiary Flare, this is just a clean answer to Scrounger, because against these control decks, against the, like, a more controlling deck like we're playing, like, the recursion of Scrounger is so infinitely frustrating. So getting it on the bottom of the library is quite nice. And even if they don't have black up, it's just like, it will become a problem. Fraven Inspector. So they get told the clue up. Really would like to see a counter spell of some sort. We're not going to see it though. Because really, 4 mana is the key slot. Because the problem with that first game we were completely in control, except for Gideon. And had we been able to counter that Gideon, and this is probably a mistake on my part for not thinking to hold up the mana to counter Gideon instead, like, we probably would have won that game. Because Gideon is such a prominent matchup, as Chandra Torture Defiance. So I'm going to draw a card. It's interesting to see if these new, like, more mid-range Mardu decks make the matchup trickier, because initially one of the things that was propagated about this deck, and that kind of drew me to it, is that, like, from what I read about it, both in terms of words and what I'd heard from other people, is that basically this deck has a very, very good Mardu matchup. Playing a Fraven Inspector. And draw another card. So looking for a 4th land pretty desperately. So that indicates they've kind of got Gideon in hand. Did not find a 4th land drop. So we're going to Glimmer. Dynavoult's pretty good. Torrential Gearhulk we're pretty close to as well. I am going to play the Dynavolt out this turn. And hold up Harness Lightning. Purely because this, like, Dynavolt Tower is a clean answer to Gideon. Because we're going to have the energy to make it work. Kind of wish it... Radiant Flames wouldn't be too bad right now, would it? Man, they are desperate for a 4th land. And they... What? Okay. I didn't feel like we were that in control of it, but, I mean, I'll take it. Maybe on the draw, maybe we want Radiant Flames. God, I have absolutely no idea how to sideboard this deck yet. On the draw. So, is Horribly Rye too slow on the draw? Is Negate too slow? No, Negate is really important. Maybe Horribly Rye? I mean... Or Ceremonious Rejection? Shielded Day for Thief? Definitely want these in. Let's try taking out One horribly awry. Two horribly awry. No, can that be right? Maybe it's ceremonious rejection? No, ceremonious rejection's good at... Well, we've got ways to deal with Heart of Kiran. Walking Ballista's a bit more trickier, but we do have ways to deal with both of those. Let's take out ceremonious rejection. Maybe it's not that good here. In conclusion, man has no idea how to play deck. Okay, so as long as we don't get bowled over by a super quick start, we should be okay. Framing Inspector is kind of counterintuitive to what we want to do, but so that's a tune. Let's get a mountain. Because I wonder if like one of the things with this deck is if you get an early Dynavolt Tower and get it to stick, you're just so far ahead. I wonder if our opponents think of their clock and didn't want to play a grindy game that they thought they couldn't win. It just seemed like a very early concession. Let's scrap each Scrounger. Okay. So the plan is to eventually get to this Radiant Flames. Question is, do you want to Incendiary Flow this Scrappy Scrounger now? I think you do, because then we can only take one next turn. We can play Dynavolt Tower, and then we've got things like Radiant Flames and Horribly Awry afterwards, so maybe this is correct. I mean, Dynavolt Tower feels like, oh, it's okay, a tap land for them is pretty handy for us. Are they just going to draw off the clue end of turn? Because that feels good for us. If they play another Scrappy Scrounger, that's less good for us. Okay, they're doing nothing. Another Radiant Flames. So I think we play out the Dynavolt. And we hope they don't have a removal spell for it. Because again, I'm pretty sure last I checked this deck runs 4 copies of Release the Gremlins. And considering people know that the 2 main win cons in this deck are Torrential Gearhulk and Dynavolt Tower, you'd got to expect they're going to bring all of those in. Attack for 1. They could also play a Gideon here, which would suck. But I think we just have to take as a possibility. We won't be able to counter it anyway. But we could either bluff a counter spell, which seems silly, because if they might just play the Gideon anyway, or we can play Dynavolt Tower, which can eventually deal with it. Okay, Fragmentize. And a Scrappy Scrounger. Okay, so Scrap Heap Scrounge is about to become an issue. I'm not going to Radiant Flames this turn. I think it's... See, here it's more realistic that we're going to counter a Gideon. Also, I kind of want to glimmer end of turn and find an actual answer to all this shenanigans. It also gives us more chance of doing Radiant Flames plus holding up Horribly Awry next turn. Because they've got to have a question about whether... I mean, they might just tap out and just like, I am going to play Gideon. Another Scrappy Scrounger, that's kind of annoying. Okay, so no Gideon. That is good. Anticipate and attune with Ether. I'm going to keep Anticipate, not Attune. Lumbering Falls. Harness Lightning. I'm just saying card names now. Okay, so green, red, blue. So let's wipe all this away. They're down to 2 cards. Basically, it feels like the plan at the moment is dodge the Gideon. Or the Challenger. So they bring back one of these Scrappy Scroungers. Because we can start grinding out the Scroungers. Let's see what I do here. As I said, it's a case of dodging Gideon at this point, I think. Did not dodge the Gideon. So better start anticipating for answers. Shielded A for Thief is the best of that bunch, I think, because it can do some blocking at the very least. And draw us a card. Let's play in Lumbering Falls, because that might be one of our best answers. Red, green. Oh, gotta pay for that red. Red, green, blue. So that's Radiant Flames everything away again. We're gonna flash in a Shielded A for Thief to block. We get to hold up Harness Lightning and Horribly Awry here. I don't want to just take 5 though, that's the downside. Yeah, I think we just need to buy ourselves time. Are they going to unlicense Disintegration this? Looks like they are. So I guess for our next... Okay, well we've got to do it. I don't know why they didn't bring Scrap Heap Scrounger back before that. Maybe they're just going to play something else. Because, I mean, really our best draw, as always, is probably Torrential Gearhulk. Maybe that's why we didn't want to board it out. So we want to play Thraben Inspector. Release the Gremlins. See, ideally... So let's be realistic, what's going to happen here? They're going to probably attack with Inspector, Gideon, and Shambling Vent. So Shielded A Thief will have to be flashed in to block Gideon. And we could blow up a clue here. But we could also just Harness Lightning. See, the problem with all this is basically if they have a removal spell for Shielded A for Thief, we're just going to lose. Because we won't have a blocker for Gideon. So if we release the Gremlins, we make a Gremlin blocker. And then we have Shielded A for Thief as another potential blocker. So I think we have to do that. I mean, also taking away the clue isn't completely irrelevant. This also allows us to hold up Harness Lightning. Yeah, what would really get us if they kept in Fatal Push, but I can't imagine they would keep in Fatal Push. So here comes Gids. Then they play an A for Hub, so they're down to 1 card. They're going to activate Shambling Vent? They are. Okay, so we're going to take 1. Gremlin, you get in front of here. Let's Harness Lightning this. The other thing we've got to watch out for is they can start recurring Scrap Heap Scroungers as this turn ends. Oh, Torrential Gearhulk. Why couldn't it have been you? Okay, so we can activate Lumbering Falls, block a Scrap Heap Scrounger, A for Thief gets in front of Gideon, we take another 1. And at least once this Scrap Heap Scrounger is exiled, it's the last one they can exile back. Exiled, returned. Yep. So let's see if Shielded A for Thief survives first. Because if it doesn't, then we're just dead. Okay, green, blue. Yeah. So we're going to take another one. We still have a way to deal with Gideon, which is a big problem. We're going to lose our Lumbering Falls. Basically drawing to Torrential Gearhulk. Yeah, playing, like, also not counting what they're going to play here. Now I played a land. It's not the worst for us. A for Herb. Boo. Well, I mean, we've got a bluff Gearhulk, right? Yeah, I think the big mistake game one, apart from like the whole incendiary flow thing, the big mistake was not countering Gideon. Like that's what cost us the game. Is doing that tune with Aether. And then not being able to counter Gideon. Because I mean I should know better. I should know that Mardu's best way of beating us in those games is off the Gideon. And realistically both games they won off the back of Gideon. Otherwise we're in pretty good shape. So live and learn. Back for round 4.